Hello, my YouTube friends. Thanks for joining in tonight. Man, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hang on one second. I got to do something. I got to put on these, baby. If you haven't hit that subscribe button or slam that bell, please do now because we got a lot of great things going on. Man, one is a Shure SM7B microphone giveaway. All you got to do to enter in the contest, hit that subscribe button, slam that bell, type down there as to why you love Shure microphones, and that gets you in. Man, I'm pumped up. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. Cheers to all of you out there. Yum. Wow, that's really good. So, tonight we're going to be talking about treat your reflections, mirror your imperfection. You might be saying, what the heck is he talking about, man? Mirror your imperfection? Well, tonight we're going to be talking about studio foam and how imperative important it is in your recording studio, man. Not only for doing your mixing, but listening back and doing some tracking. You also get benefits out of putting your microphone in your tracking room and doing some tracking if your equipment isn't really loud. But it does play a large role in how you perceive to hear your monitors, man. So you might be saying, well, what is sound absorption? What is acoustic foam? So I just want to read you something right here, man. Acoustic foam is an open sealed foam used for acoustic treatment. It attenuates airborne sound waves, reducing their amplitude. Wow. For the purpose of noise reduction or noise control. The energy is dissipated as heat. Who would have thought? So it's really good for like controlling the sound waves from reflecting, getting back into your microphone, fooling you, thinking that you need more bass, and you keep pushing up that bass. By the time you do a mix and go somewhere else, man, you're just way too bass heavy. So treating your room with acoustic foam is definitely imperative, especially for you guys that are beginners and you want to get into recording and mixing and you don't know your monitors yet. You just bought you a new nice set of monitors and you really don't know how they act or how they sound in your room. So I wanted to show you a little piece of Auralex right here. I'm going to put some links down below, and you guys can click on some of my favorite packages that they sell and make it easy on yourself, and they'll send it right out to you. But man, this is some really good stuff. This is just a piece that I'm not using, and you can see how thick it is. Now, I've had this stuff for about 13 years, and it's actually moved in two different studios. So it really looks pretty good after all that time. But I've got plenty in my room now, so I didn't need this little extra piece. And I wanted to show you guys what that's all about, man. But studio foam and diffusers are two different items that you'll probably need in your studio. And but I want to show you typically how you want to put this stuff on your walls. I want to show you a little thumbnail here. I took a little picture of the way they demonstrated this on your wall, and I want to show this to you because it's really really important. Now check out the way they got this. You can see where the speakers are, and you can see on the sides where they had their studio foam. Okay, and then you can see in the back. Sorry, but you can see in the back where they have their diffusers. Let me get back to the picture, man. Daggum. But usually that's typically where your diffusers want to be in the back behind you. Now, if you have a really, really small room and you don't have a bunch of room behind you, you might as well just go ahead and put studio foam there as well. But a good place to start with your studio phone is typically if your monitors are setting here, you want it somewhere in the center, about right where your monitors are. So you want it level with your monitors because those early reflections are going to hit that wall behind you and going to come back to you and fool you as to how much bass that you think you're hearing from your monitors. So it's really, really good. I would start right there behind your monitors first and put you a couple panels back there, level with your studio monitors and your ears as they pan around like this. Okay, that's a good starting point, man. Okay, put them in here somewhere in the center. And then if you have some extra, you might want to go a little higher and a little lower, but you might want to leave a little, say, 2 foot at the bottom, in case it just saves room for having space if you have a small room. So start there, and you can pan around, and you typically want to put your next panel halfway the distance between your ears, okay, and your studio monitors. So the way you can check this, if you have a friend, um, rule of thumb is he can take a mirror, your friend, and let you be sitting in the pilot seat. And as he walks the mirror along the side of the wall, when you see the beginning of your front of your monitor, that's where you want to start placing your acoustic foam on that side. So typically that'll be about halfway the distance between you and the monitors. Keep them about 2 foot or 3 foot high off from the floor. That's where your panels are going to go, man, on the sides. Okay. And then the same thing on your ceiling. Now, I've been in some studios, they have diffusers on the ceiling. Okay. But those diffusers or acoustic foam is going to be half the distance from your monitors to your ears. Man, it's really, really imperative important. Unless you're a trained engineer, and I know a few out there, uh, to have studio foam in your studio, man, because you can be fooled if you're beginning or a beginner. You really need to treat your room. But so your top tiles are going to be half the distance between your head, your ears, and your monitors. Go ahead and place some up there, man. Go ahead and put you some up there. And if you know how to make diffusers, they're really, really easy to make. I've seen them made with different size blocks. Okay, you can just cut some 1 by 1 blocks. Take a sheet of plywood, glue them in different heights. Okay, what's going to happen is those sound waves are going to hit that and shatter, typically out and diffuse the sound. And that's a good thing, man, because you don't want all these sound waves moving around in your room, man. Okay. So then behind you, you want to mirror what's in front of you. So if you just panned around all the way to the back of the room, is where right behind your head, same height, is where you want your diffusers. Okay. Right level with your ears, man. Okay. That's where you want your diffusers. Or if it's a really short, close, a small room, I would go ahead and put your panels up there. Okay. Go ahead and put your Auralex sound absorbers up there, studio foam. Okay. Because that's going to help. You're probably going to need it. Um, Now, those are some good things right there. Hey, what's up? What's up, Digigal? Um, that's a good rule of thumb for your sound absorbance material, and that'll keep those sound waves from just popping around, going around, and fooling you and thinking how much bass that you have in your mix, man. It'll also help out on your tracking. I love to do my vocal tracking in the uh, in the mixing room, simply because a lot of times I'm by myself and I don't want to have to run to another room or whatever to do my vocal takes. So it's nice to be able to have a sweet spot in my tracking room and in my mixing room to where I don't have to go far back and forth to do retakes or whatnot. So this will help you guys out, man, in the long run, and it'll kind of jump straight to the chase and keep you from guessing as to, is your mix correct or not. Now, I always typically in the beginning, after I get several tracks down, I'll always run pink noise across everything and kind of get a real quick balance, just a guideline, a balance of whether I'm hearing things like I need to be hearing things. Sometimes I'll just try to do a quick mix, run the faders up, okay, do a quick mix, and then run pink noise just to see how close I am as far as a nice balance in everything. But having studio foam is definitely a necessity to have. At least it was for me, and my mixes improved dramatically by having whenever I got the Auralex studio foam in my studio. Now my first recording studio that I put together, my room was terrible, man. It was really, really, really bad. If you had a list from 1 to 10 as of how bad something can be, it was probably every bit of 9 out of 10. And so whenever I treated my room, um, man, my mixes got a lot better. Probably the first week, I really noticed that I wasn't having to double check my mixes nearly as much, and I was able to my balance was a lot better. And so it's really important to know your monitors, to know your room. But if you've got the money, go ahead and get your sound. I suggest just doing that first before you go out and buy a whole bunch of expensive equipment and you're just getting into recording and you want to learn recording and you want to learn everything about it, man. I highly suggest go out and treat your room first before you start dumping a bunch of money into nice equipment, nice monitors, and all that other good stuff that you're going to want anyway. But go ahead and just do that first, and that's going to help you out a lot, man. And some people, like I say, they'll do that last. And if you're not experienced and know your monitors, man, it'll sure save you some headache and sure save you some time, man. Having to try to guess and whether or not your mix is right. And there's nothing more frustrating than thinking you got a good mix, okay, in your room and taking that mix and burning it on a CD or whatever or MP3, going to your automobile and listening to it and going, man, that don't sound nothing like the way it was sounding in the studio. And then taking it from there and then going to another vehicle or whatever and listen to it their system and going, man, I was just way off. It sounds different in this one too than it did in my truck or in my car. And so that was one thing that I learned real fast, man. Once I started using pink noise, and once I treated my room, I noticed my mixes got tons better, and it really really helped me out a lot. Huh. Okay, but so anyway, tell me what you guys think out there, man. Are you using any kind of studio foam in your studio right now? And if so, what type of material are you using? I know I know that there's several different people try to do the cheap route and go down and um buy just some foam, some bedding foam that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot, but it's not the same stuff, man. It's not the same thickness for one thing, and it's not specifically made for reducing reverb or echoes or dissipating those sound waves like Orlex is. And so, you'll see a lot of videos out there of how to treat your room and how to do it the cheap way and what's best and all this stuff. Man, don't even bother with all that stuff, okay? It's kind of like the vocal booth that I was talking about last night. Just the most important thing that what I mentioned last night will carry you a long ways, and that's learn to use your ears, man. Learn to listen and pay attention as to what's going on. and you'll be able to take that with you the rest of your life as far as creating better mixes and doing a better job on your mixes. But treat your room, man. A lot of times, you might have a hardwood floor. If after you treat your room, which I don't think you will, but after you treat your room, you won't have a bunch of echo going on, and that's really really important. In this room right here, I have hardwood floors, but I also have a couch in here that sits on the other side of my studio, so it's nice that I can track, sit down. Now the couch absorbs a lot of sound waves too. So everything that you bring in your studio, everything that you hang on your wall, everything that you do differently is going to affect how the sound dissipates and in your room. So I have enough going on in here. I have enough um, acoustic foam, and also I didn't even mention. I don't know why I didn't mention, but I have my bass traps in here too. So your bass traps are really really important in keeping that energy that builds up in the corners of your room. Um, that will happen when you're playing your music. Bass tends to build up in the corners, and especially toward the ceiling of your room is where a lot of the bass, the energy, seems to settle. So put your bass traps up there in the top of in the corners of your room. Just put your bass traps. The ones that I have, you can turn sideways as well, and so they're going with the length of the ceiling at the top, and I have them on all four corners. And so by putting them up in the top of the corners of the room, it also gives me more room down here on the bottom in the studio to have furniture or whatever else. So it doesn't take up a whole bunch of room, man. But cheers, everybody. Merry Christmas to those of you who do celebrate Christmas out there. Cheers, everyone. Man, this is really good. I don't drink this stuff every day, but every now and then it's nice to celebrate and give thanks for all the things that you do have, man, in your health, especially. Having good health is really important, and you don't really realize how bad it is when you don't have good health. Then you you wish you had better health, man. I pulled my back out the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, man, dude!" I was down for a couple of days and on a heating pad and everything else. So anyway, man, Merry Christmas, everyone, and I hope the acoustic foam will help you, man. Like I say, I'm gonna put some links down there below. Down below, you can click on those links. It's the fastest shipping to your house, man. And I put like two different packages down there. You can click on and check out Auralex's stuff, man. I did one that runs like two something, and it's the full package one. It'll do your whole room. And then I did one just for some panels, in front of your monitors as a starter, to see how you like things. With that. But I just went ahead and bit the bullet and got the whole thing, man, for my studio because I didn't want to start getting it up on the walls. Go, man, ooh, I wish I had some here. I wish I had some here. Um, but yeah, having them in your front is really important because that's your earliest reflection. Is your speakers are here, right, facing you, and so your earliest reflection is the wall behind you. So your speakers are gonna reflect off that wall behind your monitors and fool you as to what you think you're hearing. So you might have the best monitors in the world, man, but if you're hearing the room instead of your speakers, think about it. The best monitors in the world, but if you're hearing the room instead of your speakers, so yeah, man, having material that's gonna to where you can only hear your speakers, you're not hearing all these other things confusing you. Sound wave is bouncing around, you're hearing all this other stuff. So your second place that's going to be most important is the sides because typically a lot of times you'll here's the pilot seat, and I know in my studio I angle my monitor slightly like this to where I'm hearing to where I'm actually right in the pilot seat to where those sound waves go right across my head in the mix. I'm in the sweet spot. We talked about that last night. Every room has a sweet spot. So there's a sweet spot too where you need to be sitting and doing your mixing. And so, anyway, I have mine angled. And so the wall that's adjacent to me or the side of me is going to be the next nearest reflections off the wall, which is going to be like I mentioned earlier, which is going to be ear level. Okay. And so that's where you need your sound treatment next. But just go ahead, man, and get the whole package, man. That way you can treat your whole room, get the bass traps, get all everything. So man, you're done. You can set it up. And I will say this: if you're in an apartment, okay, and you plan on moving, take my advice for this, man. On your studio foam, if you're in an apartment, go ahead and go to the lumber store or whatever and get you some plywood. It doesn't have to be that thick. It can be, a quarter of an inch, and get you some plywood and cut to size how you're going to lay out your panels, okay? And use adhesive, that to your plywood, okay? And then take that and screw that into the wall. That way, if you leave, when you're ready to leave, you just unscrew those screws, right? And you're gone. And you got your panels for your new apartment or your new place without having to rip that material off the wall, and it will tear the sheetrock off. I'll show you this little piece right here. Okay. I'm gonna save you some headache, man. Look at this. Okay. I didn't think that I was gonna ever be leaving my other house that I was in. It was my house, it was paid for. But anyway, I left and I took my studio foam. I wasn't gonna leave it there, man. It was expensive. And I knew I was gonna be setting up my studio somewhere else. But look what it did. Okay, here, right here in the back, this was the back of it. Okay. And all I did, I might have put liquid nail on the back of it. I think I did. I put liquid nail instead of adhesive because it was sheetrock. So when I went to pull this off, man, it's nice and thick. So it went through that, getting this off the wall, and it's still good, man. It's still good. I took it with me. I was able to salvage it, man. So a tip for you guys, okay? If you're in an apartment or even a house, man, if it's not solid wooden walls, go ahead and cut you some plywood, take you some adhesive, spray it on there, put some screws in it. That way, if you have to leave, man, you won't have to rip rock off the wall. And if you're in an apartment, dude, you do not want that. You do not want to have to owe the landlord money because she needs to redo the walls or whatever. Okay. So that's a good tip, man. That'll go a long ways for you guys, man. But other than getting studio foam for your recording studio, man, that's what I really wanted to talk about tonight, and mirror the back of it just as the way you put it up in the front, and just go pan yourself around and put that stuff up, and you're gonna find out you got some great results with it, man. You'll As you're putting it up, this is what I did. I was putting my studio foam up in my other place, okay? And that room was terrible, 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 terrible room to track, do anything in. And at each piece that I put up in the room, I know I'd clap my hands and I'd clap my hands and I clap my hands. So finally, when I got toward the last couple of pieces, I noticed that all the sound and all the echo, all the just completely went away, man. I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And I started doing some mixes, and then I noticed, man, my mixes were just got better, and I wasn't adding too much bass or not enough. My mixes just got better, man. And that'll help you out, man. Go out there and just click that link down below and get you some, man. They'll send it right to you. Get your studio, and also it looks good, man. You can get it in different colors. You can get it in charcoal. You can get it in a dark gray or a light gray or a mix of two. You can get it in blue and I think a red or like a burgundy color. And so it looks really hot when you put it on your walls, man. It looks really, really good. It's going to dress up your studio. not only is it going to improve the sound in there, but it's going to make it look really, really cool. So when you have friends over or whoever or company, it's going to be real impressive. And I want to tell you something. Nothing worse than going out. Now we have all this COVID stuff, so people aren't going out that much. But there's nothing worse than going into a restaurant or somewhere, man, where it's really, really, really good. The food is awesome. Everything is good. The service is good. The food's really good. Everything's good. But you're sitting in there and you're trying to have a conversation with the person right next to you, and it's so loud. It's so loud in there, man. You can't even enjoy your food because you're hearing plates clanging and forks, um, you know, setting down on the table. And you're thinking to yourself as an engineer, you're thinking, man, they need some Auralex in here, man. They need some diffusers on the wall. They need them on the ceiling. I think every restaurant, especially if it's a big open space, if it's a big open space with a high ceiling, and the tables are just scattered all around or whatnot, the worst acoustics in there, man, for trying to enjoy your dinner without it being so loud, and even hearing the people in the back, man, throwing the dishes in the in the dishes, cleaning the dishes, man. So that might be something for somebody to do. Just drive around and be a sales rep for Auralex, man, and and just sell them acoustic foam for their daggum businesses, man. But it works. It really works, and I think everybody should have it in rooms that are really bad, especially in your studio, man. It's going to really save you a lot of time. Getting your mixes right, and especially if you don't know your monitors and you buy the hottest monitors out there, and you think, oh man, I got these really great monitors, and my mixes are just gonna get great now. Dude, if you're here in the room, it's gonna take you a long time to get your mixes right if you're here in the room. So I just wanted to share that piece of knowledge with you guys, man. Don't make the same mistake I made. Wait too long to treat your room. That should be the first thing you need to do, and everything else should follow after that, man. Treat your room. Use your ears. Those are the most important things that you can do as being an engineer, and then dive into it, man. Cheers. Love the plywood tip. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah. You know what? I don't know if I showed you my. Let me show you again because you might not have seen this. Okay. This was my first experience with it. Check it out. Check it out, did you gal? This was my first. Okay, this is sheetrock. Okay, I'd put liquid nail on here, and it pulled. I would, but I wasn't gonna leave my house without it, man. Liquid nail for sure. Yeah, it works. It works, right? I didn't have a problem with it ever falling down. It wasn't gonna fall down, but I was thinking. I had no intention for ever leaving the house that I had paid for. Worked hard to be there, and had everything just right. You know what I mean? But anyway, I had no intention of leaving, and but I wasn't gonna leave my studio phone. It was coming with me, whether it was gonna whether I was gonna destroy it, getting it off the wall, or whatever, man. It was coming with me because I really love it that much, y'all. I'm not just saying this just to be saying it. It really, really, really did help my mixes out 100%. And you'll see. Click that link down there and get you some, man. And you'll see when you get it and put it on your walls. Just do that little test like I did. Each panel that you put up, clap your hands, and then all of a sudden, all the echo and reverb will go away, and you really will get better at your mixes. It really, really helped you, man. It helped me a lot. And for a long time, I knew about it, and I was just stubborn, man. I just didn't get it. I thought, oh well, I know enough. I can just, it doesn't bother me to check it out in the car and go back in and check it over here. But after a while, it's a nuisance, man. It's nice when you can nail the mix and take it out to your vehicle or put it on an MP3 player or somewhere, and you go, man. I got it right. It sounds good. Sounds good on everything I put it in. And so, anyway, you can get all you can get all those nice speakers you want, man. And you can spend a lot on monitors, okay, y'all. You really can. But if you don't know your monitors and you don't know how your room reacts, it's gonna take you a while, man. It's gonna take you a while to get your mixes right. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that tip on the studio phone. I'll never do it again. I'll tell you that. That liquid nail was some tough stuff, dude. It didn't want to let go of that acoustic foam. But yeah, man, treat your room and you guys have a Merry Christmas. Man, I was contemplating whether I really wanted to get on here tonight, but I promise you guys I was going to be on at 7. And this is some really good information that I shared with y'all, man. And I said I'm gonna get on anyway. I know it's Christmas Eve, but I'm gonna get on and hang out with you guys a little bit and just ease on back and enjoy being here with y'all. And I appreciate your comment, Digigo. I really do. I appreciate you guys. I don't know what it is, but some people take a while to ease on back and to communicate with you sometimes. I don't know if it's because they just want to get to know you first or whatever, but it's nice to have communication back and forth whenever you do your videos and everything. Makes it nice. And, it kind of takes the edge off of being so nervous because when you're talking to a camera, or when you just feel like you're trying to focus on what your subject is or what you want to cover, and it just makes it for me anyway. It makes it I feel more relaxed whenever I'm communicating with someone or my friends pop in and start talking to me because uh, it just makes it easier to do things. Looks like Auralex is fire. It is. It is fire resistant, tart retardant too. And I should have mentioned that. What a great thing. It's not going to go up in smoke on you. And if you have enough of it in your room, maybe it might just slow down the fire, right? I don't know about that, but some of that stuff out there is, really, really fireproof. And so you put a match near it, or heat gets near it, or gas heater or something like that. Could spark up some of that stuff that you think you're getting a good deal at Walmart. You think you're getting a good deal on some bedding material. I mean, I don't know. I just I assume just buy the real deal, buy the real stuff, not have to guess whether it's going to work or not. Because I've seen it. I've seen some. It's kind of like I don't know. It has like little egg crate type foam, right? And it's probably on an inch thick. Okay, it's not nearly as thick as this Orlex stuff. Okay, it's a lot more pliable or squeezable than Orlex, so it's not as firm. Okay, another thing that I noticed, and it was like I want to say for a piece that would fit a queen size bed. I want to say it was like $70 or $80 for that piece. It wasn't cheap. And I thought, well, shoot, man, I'm gonna order the real deal. I'm gonna order the real stuff that's made for acoustics, and I'm glad I did. It's still with me, and I love it, and you guys will too. So anyway, anything exciting going on for you guys for Christmas? Are y'all opening Christmas presents tonight? If y'all do Christmas, or y'all just waiting till tomorrow to do? What about you, Digigal? Are you do you do Christmas? Are you waiting for Christmas tomorrow, or what's your plans? Anyway, I sure am enjoying tonight, man. It's cold here tonight. The wind set in earlier today, and it literally almost blew my door off. I opened my door on my little tracker. I have a little geo tracker. I love that little thing. It's like a little go kart driving around. And I opened my tracker, and the wind just caught the door, man, and just, and I thought it was going to take my little door off. I don't know. Oh, wow. Oh, it started to crumble apart on you. Wow. Wow. Sonex. I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought that would have been a good brand. Sonex. See, the piece she held up was 16 years. Okay. Well, maybe so. I don't know. It doesn't seem like I bought it that long ago. I don't think I did. I don't think I bought it that long ago, did you, Gal? I don't think I did, man. I want to say maybe 13 years. I've had it maybe 13 or so. Uh, but the Sonex brand, about 20 years mark, started to crumble. Huh. I wouldn't have thought. I always thought that was a pretty good brand. I don't know. Thank you for sharing that information with me, though. But I have, I did notice a big difference, like I say, as to how it sounded. Um, but wow, I can't imagine that. Having your studio foam up on the walls and having it crumble apart or come apart on you, or start noticing stuff on your couch or your floor and go, "What is that?" And then run your finger across it or whatever and realize it's your studio foam that's coming apart. Hmm. Well, I don't know. I've been enjoying my studio foam, and it's really not that expensive when you really think about it. If you're into recording and you're into tracking and mixing and whatever. Um, oh, okay. Yeah, I think it will last longer. I I think it will last longer, Judge Gal. I mean, mine's lasted a long time, and it's moved in two different places, right? And I pulled it off the wall, literally ripped it off the wall, and it didn't fall because I started at one corner, and I remember how I put the adhesive on it. I remember I stayed toward the middle of the foam whenever I stuck it up there. Um, so I didn't put it near the edges of the foam. Okay, I just ran a bead like this in the middle of the foam, pretty much the thinner pieces anyway. And so I started at the corner. I'd start in the corner of the foam and just slowly, slowly, slowly until I could get my hand back on part of it, and just slowly pulled and pried. But it still ripped the sheetrock off. But like I say, I wasn't gonna leave it there. And I fixed it all. I fixed all that stuff. I ended up, texturing and whatnot, and got the house ready to sell. But it was still a hassle having to do that, having to fix those spots and whatever. So I fixed the spots and ended up painting the whole daggum room and the ceiling because my bass traps were on the ceiling part. So part of it was on the ceiling and part of it was on the wall like this. So where I pulled the big bass traps off, it actually took some of the sheetrock off the ceiling and the texture and the wall. It was a mess. I don't recommend anybody having to move that stuff, man. Excuse me, especially if you're in an apartment. Wow, I could just see the landlord really giving somebody a hard time. You wouldn't want them to see that. You'd want to fix it. But it's been well worth it. This Arlex has been well worth it, and I could really tell a big difference in my mixes, and that's the most important thing. If you um or just having a conversation, you have some friends over and y'all want to hang out in the studio, uh and not even maybe just listen to music or whatever, or have a conversation. There's nothing worse than hearing all the room. There's nothing worse than hearing the room kicking out and all these echoes and reflections and stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, being in a nice restaurant, there's nothing relaxing about being in a nice restaurant, eating a good steak or whatever, and it's so loud. You just can't wait to get out of there. Hurry up and swig down your water and leave, man. But anyway, I appreciate you guys joining in, Digigal. I appreciate all your comments tonight, and all you guys have a Merry Christmas. And join me again. I'll probably come back on Monday night. So Monday night at 7 o'clock, you can catch me again. I'm trying to come on at at 7 every day and share a little bit of information with you guys. Not too much, just enough that y'all can chew on and digest, and then hopefully some of it will help you guys out, and you won't make the same mistakes I did, right? And not buy the wrong stuff. Kind of get you right in the ball game of what's good, and kind of get you down the road as far as making some good choices. So anyway, I'm gonna try to come on at 7 each night, but this weekend I'm gonna hang free until Monday night, man. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, as you know, I keep repeating over and over and over and over and over again because man, you don't want to miss out on this microphone. I'm telling you, it is a beautiful sounding microphone. And so anyway, you got to hit the subscribe button, okay? And you have to slam the bell. Don't look, man. I got a little bell right here. You got to slam the bell. Slam it. Slam the bell and type down there as to why you like Shure microphones. Maybe you've never had this microphone. It doesn't matter. Just type down there as to why you like a Shure microphone. 57 is a good one. 58, the SM81. All Shure microphones are great microphones. Just type down there as to why you like it, and that'll enter you in the contest. Okay. And I don't do the picking, but it doesn't hurt just to go ahead and enter. And I'm probably going to be doing a giveaway for a couple more months. So if you don't get this one coming up, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it and giving them out, man. Because if without you guys, man, and your support, I wouldn't be able to do it. And I appreciate all of you. And you guys have a Merry Christmas, man. Thank you so much, DigiGal, for coming in. Thank you for all your comments. I really appreciate them. I do. I do. I do. I do. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and I'll see you Monday at 7 o'clock. Y'all take care and bye bye.